historic Rose Hill Gym on the campus of Fordham University. Coach Bridgette Mitchell and her Rams, coming off a week break from their last outing, now face the challenge in front of them, the Bonnies of St. Bonaventure. The hosting Rams coming off a great recent stretch of play, winning 5 of their last 6. The traveling Bonnies, well, they haven't been so lucky, losing 8 of their last 9. Can the Bonnies turn around their fortune heading into the heart of the A-10 schedule? For Rene Mora and the Fordham Rams, it's about maintaining momentum. They currently sit in the top 5 of the conference, but understand that there's more work to do, with all roads eventually leading to the A-10 tournament. It's St. Bonaventure and Fordham, and it's next on WFUV Sports. And with that beautiful rendition of the national anthem, we're off here in the Bronx. I'm Chris Carrino, joined by my partner, Ben Oppenheimer, here on not a warm Saturday afternoon, but warmer Saturday afternoon. Fordham Rams come back to host here in the Bronx, a place they haven't lost since the beginning, the very opener of the season, now 7-0 since then in the friendly confines of the Rose Hill Gym. Ben, coming into this one, the Fordham Rams, a ton of momentum, winning almost every game they've played in their last 6. What do they have to do just to keep the momentum going?
Well, just to keep doing the things that they've been doing since the start of conference play. You know, before today's game, Coach Mitchell talked about how a lot of the strategies, the defensive and offensive schemes, those are really being taught over winter break, and now we're at the point now where those lessons, those strategies are now coming into fruition, and we're seeing the effect on the court, on the floor, all of that work put in from non-conference into conference, and now they've been rolling because they've been excellent on the offensive glass, on the defensive end, turning that defense into offense. Keep doing that, and things will come easy. This Bonaventure team has been struggling so far. 1-7 in conference play, Fordham 5-2. An opportunity here to go 6-2 over a Bonaventure team that is struggling right now.
Yeah, St. Bonaventure struggling. They've lost 8 of their last 9, including 4 straight in the conference. They would like to change course here this afternoon. Me and Ben got to catch up with Fordham basketball head coach, Coach Bridgette Mitchell, before the game, and take a listen to that one. Catching up with Coach Bridgette Mitchell before Fordham St. Bonaventure. I'm Chris Carrino, joined with Ben Oppenheimer. Coach, heading into this one, you guys have been fantastic here at home. A disappointing start to your season with the loss at Adelphi. You were missing some players there, but now since you've been at full strength, it's been undefeated at home. What makes you guys so comfortable here, and have you guys taken pride in just getting it done at home?
Yeah, I think that the team has gotten into a rhythm, and I think that that's really important. And so for us to be playing the way that we have been at home, taking that pride and, being home and playing in front of your own fans is something that I'm really proud of our team for being able to do.
This team is so good at crashing the offensive glass as well as generating steals, turning defense and offense. Do you think doing all of this is allowing Fordham to play at a pace that the other teams just can't catch up with?
Yeah, definitely. I think that that's one of our strengths and our ability to defend, which translates to offense. I think that the teams that have been successful in keeping us into the half court when we weren't knocking down our shots, right? So when we're executing and knocking down our shots in the half court makes us really tough to guard, and then when we're open court, it's what we love to do. So we're making a really strong team. Really proud of the effort.
And a strong improvement in the A10 part of the schedule from this year compared to last year. Is it an identity? Would that be what you attribute to it? Just the identity of this team or the continuity? What is it about it that kind of has you guys playing at such a high level right now, 5-2 in the conference?
Yeah, I think that these young women are believing. They're believing in the work that they've put in. They're believing in their coaches and what we're telling them to do and in terms of how we're executing. And they're believing in their skill set. And I think that is going really well for us in a sense of us playing with confidence and doing some of the things that we do really well. It's hard to come out every night and do what you do well, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, a lot of times there. But it's really challenging to be able to do that. And I think that right.
Back at you live here in the Rose Hill Gym. Chris Carrino joined by Ben Oppenheimer. We're about to tip things off. At the center circle, Caitlin Frost and Emma Wilson-Saltos to tip this one off for their respective sides. And Wilson-Saltos wins it. Fordham already in transition. Mid-range pull-up is good, and the Fordham Rams are on their way. Taylor Donaldson starting it off for them.
And she's so lethal from anywhere on the floor, but you got to love that mid-range. A little bit of an old-school play on that one.
Zoe Shaw bringing it up for the Bonnies. Bonnies in their away brown, going left to right. It's Pettinelli driving baseline, pass back out to Frost, right wing. She dribbles to the free throw line. Left corner, drive. Inside Richardson, back out. Frost driving to the left side of the lane and finishing with the layup with the left hand.
Slicing through the suffocating Fordham defense on that one. Credit to her getting inside the paint there.
Fordham offense working. Shea Harris dribble handoff on the left wing to Taylor Donaldson. Fordham in their home white going right to left. Taya Davis pump fake through the right wing, driving inside, downstairs to Wilson-Saltos. She's under the basket, moving to the left side of the rim, finishing, but it traveled before that. It'll be a turnover for the Fordham offense, and the Bonnies will get it back.
Well, you talk about turnovers, Chris. Coach Mitchell talked about before this game the importance of not giving up those unforced errors. You could say that one was unforced right there.
Now working out of the left wing, Shaw. All the way to Freeze in the right corner. Wilson-Saltos steal on the baseline, up ahead to Taylor Donaldson, and the Fordham Rams have it. Taya Davis, top of the key, tried to get it downstairs to Wilson-Saltos, and it flies out of bounds. The Bonnies will get it right back. It's another point, Ben, that Coach B made, talking about the pace of this game. She understands with the pace of this Fordham team, turnovers like that may come, but the turnovers that they can manage, that they can handle, they want to do without. Now working out of the left wing, it's Frost, top of the arc, Shaw. At the free throw line, back out to Frost. Left wing, pump faking, driving in the middle of the lane. Back out, right corner. Shaw to Frost. Switching positions and hitting from the right corner. Big three there. Caitlin Frost getting these Bonnies out to a 3-point lead. 5-2, 8:06 to go in this first quarter. Taya Davis out of the right wing to Wilson-Saltos, top of the key. Getting it downstairs to Taylor Donaldson. She puts up a floater and it hits. Taylor Donaldson with another bucket. She's got Fordham back within one. 5-4, 7:50 to go in this first quarter. Frost on the right wing being guarded by Wilson-Saltos. Saltos diving for the ball. A bit of a scrum right in front of us, and Taylor Donaldson ends up with it. Fordham Rams now coming the other way. Donaldson right wing, stop and pop three. No good. Rebound Bonnies. Zoe Shaw has the rebound, is bringing it up for the offense. Out, Richardson on the left wing. She'll reposition to the top of the key to Frost on the right wing. Frost playing it to Shaw, back to Frost, back to Richardson, all the way around to Haskell. Haskell through the left side of the lane, no good at the rim, only hitting the backboard. Now Fordham offense coming the other way. Taya Davis stopping at the right elbow, crossing right to left, putting up a floater middle of the lane, and finishing. Taya Davis, another bucket for the Fordham offense. They're out to a lead, 6-5.
And she's not just a playmaker, Chris. She also has that scoring potential, that ability to muscle inside and get what she wants in the paint.
Zoe Shaw, top of the arc, crossing right to left to the middle of the lane to Richardson on the left wing. Now Richardson on the opposite corner to Frost. Frost driving baseline side, meeting Moore at the rim and finishing over Mora. Impressive finish there from Caitlin Frost. Quick pass all the way ahead onto the other side of the court. It goes out of bounds, but it'll stay with the Rams. Inbounded it in the front court.
And, you know, as you said, Chris, there's always going to be turnovers, especially when you're out in transition, as this team likes to do. But really, you have to limit them whenever you can to keep it under control. You don't want to let the pace get out of hand.
Top of the arc, Donaldson to Rose Nelson on the right wing. She drives baseline side to Veljovic left corner. She also drives middle of the lane and loses it in the middle of the lane. Zoe Shaw has it for the Bonnies, going the other way. Shaw crossing right to left to the left side of the lane. Kick out, Pettinelli. Pump fake left wing, drives inside, kick out to Richardson, right corner three, it's good! Hannah Richardson on the three, and the New Zealand native has Bonnies out to a 4-point lead, 10-6, 6 minutes to go in this first quarter. Blocking foul on the other end, it's going to be Danny Haskell on the foul. Taya Davis is the one who was fouled, and it'll be on the floor for an inbound.
Well, Fordham definitely needs to get their act together on the perimeter defensively, giving up those threes to a Bonnies team that really doesn't shoot that well from that point on the floor, and just need to make some adjustments there.
Pass into Taylor Donaldson off the inbound right corner to Moore, right block. Backing down her defender now. Back out Taya Davis. Davis driving from the perimeter. No good, rimming out on the floater. Rebound on the defensive glass there, impressively by Robinson Dodge. It's now Haskell, top of the arc. Pettinelli has it on the right wing, ball above her head. Top of the arc to Shaw. Shaw, quick pass inside to Haskell. Haskell back out, Robinson Dodge. Give and go, back to Haskell, left corner three, no good. Rose Nelson's there on the defensive glass and pushing it. Fordham offense moving the other way. Dribble handoff, left wing, Veljovic. Top of the arc to Taya Davis. Another dribble handoff to Taylor Donaldson, top of the arc. Back to Taya Davis. Inside in the block to Mora. Mora going from the right side of the block to the left side and finishing with the layup with the left hand.
And she's so great in the paint. And Coach Mitchell also talked about her keen basketball IQ. She always has an awareness of what to do and where to go on the floor.
Shaw on the right wing to Haskell, into Robinson Dodge on the right block. It was poked away by Moore. She got it back, finds the cutting Shaw, who finishes at the rim. Zoe Shaw with another bucket, and the Bonnies are sticking around. 12-8, 4:45 to go in this first quarter. Taya Davis working out of the right wing. Now drifting all the way over to the left wing to Rose Nelson. Nelson at the free throw line, stopping in the middle of the paint, and a jump ball is drawn. It was Robinson Dodge on the drawn jump ball, and it'll be a timeout right after that jump ball. Possession arrow sticking with the Bonnies.
And right now, you look at Fordham, 4.5 minutes to go, definitely a little bit sloppy out of the gate, but again, we've seen this in numerous games that have ended up being solid wins for this team. A lot of times they start out a little overexcited, leading to some sloppy mistakes. Definitely need to cut the unforced errors, as we noted, and just be able to go in transition, but also keep it under control. You always have to find that Goldilocks zone, that balance, Chris.
Absolutely, and transition play in general, the idea of translating good defense, hard-working defense into offense, it's been a part of this Fordham team's identity all season long.
Absolutely, and it's been the reason that they've been successful in this slate of conference play so far. I mean, we've got to see some phenomenal games from this team, Chris. We saw versus Richmond, the home opener of conference play. That was a thriller here at the Rose Hill Gym. And then the kids game versus George Washington, that was January 8th, where my ears still have not recovered from the crowd that was there that day, all the screaming children. But you love to see the enthusiasm from this team, particularly Coach Mitchell talking about, she references the Kendrick Lamar song, Not Like Us, in terms of what each teammate does that others other players across the conference, across all of college basketball are unable to do. That's such a great attitude, saying you rebound unlike anyone else. You score, you get to the basket, you shoot the three unlike anybody else. That definitely helps boost their confidence and makes them feel good about themselves and good about each other.
And the biggest discrepancy, at least in this game up to this point, we're still early, only 4.5 to go in the first quarter, but points off turnovers, St. Bonaventure with 6 to Fordham 0. 6 is half of the Bonaventure's points right now, with the total sitting at 12-8. That seems like a place that if you let that get larger and larger, the discrepancy that is, it might show a lot of poor signs for this Fordham team and a lot of bad signs going forward for this team this afternoon.
Absolutely. You cannot get comfortable even in a game like this against a team that on paper looks like they're struggling, but any team, one rule in basketball is any team can beat you on any given night. You cannot get comfortable on your home floor. Nothing is an easy W. You have to do the things. You have to play the same way you play against Richmond, against Dayton, that you do against a team like the Bonnies. You have to keep it consistent. Consistency is the key to success at this point in the season. Have to have that tunnel vision, looking forward, doing things the right way, and not getting bogged down in trying to overdo things, especially as we talked about, forcing it in transition. Just get it under control. There's still plenty of time here, a lot of time. 4.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter, but it's important to end the first quarter on the right tone.
Absolutely. A lot of the only tones you were talking about, but just the character of what you were talking about, a lot of that goes to expectations. This Fordham team wants to give themselves and have themselves a pretty high expectation. Games like this are a big example of that. Teams that on paper, talent-wise, they are excelling over, and just in general in the play of the season, they're excelling over. Games they just have to take care of business. St. Bonaventure will send it in after the timeout. Robinson Dodge on the right wing. Quickly in the right corner. No good on the three from Haskell. It's Shaw on the offensive glass. Bonnies with another chance. Pettinelli quick fire to Shaw, left wing. She takes a three and hits. Another made basket for Zoe Shaw, and she's got the Bonnies out to a 7-point lead. 15-8, 4:11 to go in this first quarter. It's now Antoine out of the left wing. Dribble handoff Ferguson. For top of the key, Shea Harris driving to the left elbow, taking a jumper, no good. Veljovic fighting on the offensive glass for the ball, and she gets a jump ball call. Possession arrow staying on this side, so Fordham will get another chance.
And you have to admire the effort there, but you want to see more of a clean, free-flowing offense right now. It looks a bit stiff out there. St. Bonaventure definitely looking more smooth on that front.
Veljovic, top of the arc to Shea Harris, deep right wing. Harris taking a three, right wing, no good, off the left side of the rim. Rebound Robinson Dodge. Now Shaw taking it up for the Bonnies. And a bit of miscommunication here. Pettinelli and Robinson Dodge both thought they were receiving that pass on the right wing, and ended up neither of them receiving the pass. Out of bounds, and Chris Antoine's in front of us to take it out.
Almost headed towards me on that one.
Yeah. Fordham inbounding it in the backcourt, now in the front court. Ferguson has it top of the arc on the Fordham script logo. Now drifting over to the left wing to Antoine, same spot. Antoine losing it in the lane, getting it back out to Shea Harris. 14 on the shot clock to Veljovic, left corner. Veljovic, pump jab step, now driving into the lane, and it's stolen away. Haskell on the double team steals it away, and now the Bonnies offense is moving. Haskell, dribble handoff, Pettinelli. In the right corner, Shaw drives baseline, shot at the rim, no good, and Antoine's there on the defensive glass. Still 15-8, 2:57 to go in this first quarter. It's Harris on the left wing, going right around an Antoine screen, now middle of the lane. Stopping, turning around, fade away, no good at the free throw line. Antoine there on the offensive glass. Her putback doesn't go, and the Bonnies are out offensively. Shaw, top of the arc, to Haskell. Pump fake from the left wing. Drives in the middle of the lane. Misses the layup with the left hand. It goes out of bounds on the baseline and into the possession of the Fordham Rams.
Quite a sequence of events.
Yeah, I was about to say, it has me out of breath, Oppenheimer.
Well, a lot of plays and numerous games that I've called throughout this year have left me out of breath. The pace of it, And sometimes that pace can even get ahead of Fordham themselves. But I want to note one thing that the Bonnies are doing so well is they're shooting 60% from deep right now. And usually they shoot around 30%, so something to keep in mind.
Absolutely, a stark improvement for the Bonnies. Taylor Donaldson, top of the arc, into Wilson Saltos, middle of the paint, backing down her defender, passing it back out. Ferguson will take the right wing three. No good off the backboard. Haskell has it on the defensive rebound. Bonnie's offense is working. Haskell, guarded by Ferguson. Now a pass on the left wing. Frost to Robinson Dodge at the top of the key. She takes a little, one too many steps. It'll be a turnover back to the Fordham offense.
There's been many opportunities here for Fordham to take advantage of these turnovers and turn it into points on the other end. So far, they haven't capitalized at the level that Coach Mitchell and this team thinks they can, hopes they can.
Kayla Berry to Taya Davis on the left wing. To Taylor Donaldson, quick fire, top of the arc, and it hits! Taylor Donaldson, catch and fire. She's got Fordham back within 4, 15-11, 1:38 to go in this first quarter. Macy Smith to Haskell, back to Macy Smith on the right wing. Back to Haskell, top of the arc, around the world to Shaw. Shaw crossing right to left. Back out to her teammate, Frost, no good from the left elbow. Fordham offense going the other way. Donaldson, pass to Ferguson, left corner, her three. No good off back iron. A fight for it on the glass eventually ends up in the hands of Zoe Shaw. Bonnie's going the other way. Thumbs down set for the offense. The Haskell receiving it on the left wing. Back to Shaw. Shaw to Frost on the right wing, going left around a screen. Now at the right elbow. Back out. Haskell's three, no good from straight on. Rebound by Donaldson. She got it while moving. She's still in transition. Out to Taya Davis behind her. She drives and loses it out of bounds on the baseline. She wanted it to be off a Bonnie. That is not quite how the officials saw it. It's out of bounds in favor of St. Bonaventure.
And again, you can say that's another unforced error. Just struggling to keep it under control. A characteristic, honestly, of a lot of first quarters that this team has played. We'll see if they end it the right way with a little over 40 seconds to go.
Yeah, as Ben said, 36 to go. 15-11 still, Bonnies. Smith. Inside. Shaw gets the bucket and the foul.
And she heads to the line here. She makes her, or misses her first, excuse me. Fordham going to head back in transition. Taya Davis at the top of the key here. 9 seconds to go. Back to Donaldson in the corner, air balls, 5 seconds to go. Bonnie's running up the floor, turns it over, ball's loose, and that's time. St. Bonaventure 17, Fordham 11, as this Fordham team down 6, heading into the second quarter. And we are going to hear a scoreboard update, I believe. Not a scoreboard update. Or, excuse me, sorry. Some confusion here on
Across
the floor.
Across the A-10 in women's hoops today, UMass is visiting VCU, with the Minute Women currently leading the Rams 39-36 with 3:47 remaining in the third quarter. LaSalle made the short trip to St. Joseph's, where the Hawks are up 12-6 against the Explorers with 2:13 to go in the first quarter. Later today, the George Mason Patriots are hosting the George Washington Revolutionaries, tip-off set for 3 p.m. And finally, a mid-season blockbuster NHL trade was announced last night. Mikko Rantanen is going from the Colorado Avalanche to the Carolina Hurricanes in exchange for Martin Necas and Jack Drury. Not a good sign for the New York Rangers, who play Carolina this Tuesday. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Sophia Smith. I did not like that. I definitely tripped over my words.
What's up, everyone? I'm Will Talent.
And I'm Evan Harkin. We're two of your hosts for NFL Friday, WFUV Sports' exclusive NFL podcast.
From breaking down the weekly slate to fantasy football pickups, we've got you covered on all things around the NFL.
Stay tuned for our hosts' weekly picks as they compete against each other all season long.
Football is here, and so is NFL Friday.
Back here at the Rose Hill Gym after the first quarter, 17-11. Bonnies with the lead. We're going to send it to our sideline reporter, our trusty sideline reporter, Brendan Shorey. Take it away, Brendan.
Yeah, during the last timeout, before Coach Mitchell had a chance to talk to her players, Taylor Donaldson was visibly frustrated, telling other players that this is soft. She's visibly upset about the slow start. Once Coach Mitchell got there, she emphasized two things. No middle, as the Bonnies have gotten a few easy buckets down the middle, and watch number 22 wherever she is. She is the key player that they are going to be watching. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you, Brendan. Brendan will be with us every single quarter. Hopefully try to get him in at least 4 times throughout this game. Fantastic sideline reporting there. And yeah, it's been the story of the game so far, Ben. Chris Carrino, joined by Ben Oppenheimer. This Fordham team playing below expectation right now.
Yeah, definitely not playing up to the level they should be, they want to be, especially with some of the sloppiness, some of those turnovers. And again, there's always going to be turnovers, but they've already picked up 6. If you keep that average throughout this one, that would be 24 in total. They average 19. You don't want to get more turnovers than you're already averaging. So really just playing under control here in the second and finding a way to turn defense into offense, their signature style of playing, get back to where they're comfortable and do it best.
Smith working quickly for St. Bonnie's out of the left wing. Now at the right elbow, Frost working on Giles Jones. Backdoor pass down low, no good on the shot from Vordeport. And now Fordham going the other way. Taylor Donaldson, right wing, dribble handoff, Taya Davis. Taya Davis, crossover right to left to Kayla Berry on the outside. She steps into a mid-ranger, no good from her. A fight on the glass from both sides. They're diving on the ground. Arms going both ways, not sure which way it goes, and it'll stay with Fordham. Fordham, good fight there on the offensive glass.
You have to love it, and they've been so great on that end, just muscling for every rebound, keeping every possession alive. And even if the shot's not going down, that's helping them get another chance to get the shot go down.
It's now at the right elbow. Antoine gets it. No good from the left wing in the mid-range on the 10-footer, but a foul on the ground. I believe this one's going to go on St. Bonnie's. It will. It's going to be on number 20, Tamara Vordeport. That'll be the first team foul, not only for St. Bonnie's, but of the game. It'll be inbounded on the baseline. Taya Davis under the basket. Ferguson picks it up in the backcourt on a long pass from Taya Davis. Ferguson top of the arc. Donaldson gathers it on the left wing off a screen. Donaldson finding the cutting Wilson Saltos. No good on her. Floater in the middle of the paint. It's now the same Bonnies. Bonnies going the other way. Frost in the opposite wing. Pettinelli. Pettinelli to Frost. Back around the world to Shaw. In the corner to Smith. Smith losing the ball. Pettinelli gets it back. Back to Frost. Frost, top of the arc, driving through the middle of the lane. Rejected at the rim. Antoine. Fordham now going the other way. Taya Davis stopping at the right block. One-legged fadeaway, no good. And now a scrum forward on the glass. Once again, another jump ball. And the possession arrow on this side with the Rams. It'll stay in the Rams' possession.
Well, that floater fadeaway didn't go down on that one, but that's definitely a signature move, signature shot that she has as a part of her game, able to hit miracles just with that floater in the paint.
Taylor Donaldson in the right corner, up top to Taya Davis. Taya Davis at the left elbow, back up top to Antoine, top of the arc. To Davis. Davis left wing, jab step. Driving in the middle of the lane, floater off backboard, not even close. Smith now has it, moving for the Bonnies. Shaw stopping at the right wing, passing the opposite corner. Pettinelli moving it around the world all the way in the right corner. Vorteport back to Shaw. Shaw going left around to Vorteport's screen. Inside to Pettinelli. Back out to Smith. Left wing three. No good. Rebound by Taylor Donaldson on the defensive glass. Fordham has it offensively.
Looks like some of that streaky shooting from beyond the arc has dissipated here in the second for the Bonnies.
Wilson Saltos out of the right block, blocked by her defender, Vorteport. They're going the other way. Shaw crossing right to left, meeting a second defender to Pettinelli behind her. Finds Shaw back to her, wide open at the right elbow and hitting. Pettinelli and Shaw with a little 1-2 game there. It worked wonders. In the transition, 19-11 Bonnie lead, 7:27 to go in this first half. Donaldson out of the right wing. Being fouled on the ground there. It'll be Vorteport. She's been a nice spark defensively and offensively for this Bonnie's team since she subbed in. And this same Bonaventure team still holding a lot of control of this game, Ben. 19-11, 7:15 to go in the first half.
Well, I think really when you look at the numbers that really stick out, it's just the shooting for the Bonnies. 44% from the field. That's way above their average. And then Fordham shooting 26%, way below theirs. Fordham underperforming, Bonnies overperforming. It's continuing here in the second.
Mora has it out of the right block to Taya Davis on the left wing behind the arc. She now moves to the right elbow. Out of the right wing to Taylor Donaldson, right corner. No good off the left side of the rim. Antoine's there on the offensive glass. Her putback is no good. Rose Nelson is there for a third chance for the Ram offense. Eventually, it'll be a jump ball tied together by Danny Haskell of the Bonnies, and the Bonnies will get it back offensively. A nice defensive possession by the Bonnies with 3 chances for the Fordham offense.
Great defensive effort from St. Bonaventure, and Fordham just looking lost out there on the offensive end. Really need to retool and figure out what they want to do out there on the floor.
Pettinelli to Haskell. Haskell tried to get it on the left block. It was intercepted before then with a foul. And Hannah Richardson never saw it. It'll be an inbound right in front of the Fordham bench. Pettinelli taking it out. Pass into Robinson Dodge, left wing behind the arc. Up top to Shaw. Shaw crossover left to right. Back to Pettinelli, left wing. Pettinelli, right corner. Danny Haskell tried to hold on to it. Her right foot just a tad out of bounds. It'll be a turnover for the St. Bonaventure offense.
And another lucky break for Fordham. We'll see if they get anything to go on this possession. A three or a drive inside, anything could work.
Talked about the discrepancy earlier, 6-0 in fast break, not fast break points, in points off turnovers. That discrepancy getting even bigger, 13-3. St. Bonaventure is beating the Rams in the second chance point ranking. As Mora spins left, finish at the left block. Impressive post-work play from Irene Mora. She gets Fordham back within 6, 19-13, 6 minutes left to go in this first half. Top of the arc, Haskell. Danny Haskell now at the left wing to Richardson. Richardson has it, top of the arc. Back to Haskell. She takes a quick fire left wing three. No good. Taylor Donaldson is there on the defensive glass, and she's pushing to Rose Nelson, left wing. Rose Nelson looking for DePool. DePool has it at the top of the arc. She takes a jab step, ends up moving the feet too much. It'll be a travel call, another turnover for both of these offenses.
So many unforced errors. A major theme in this game. And Chris, I want to talk about what you touched upon earlier, the points off turnovers. I find that a lot of times when Fordham is losing, whenever they're down, the other team is playing Fordham's style of basketball. They're almost stealing their abilities temporarily, or we'll see how long it lasts in this one.
Robinson Dodge on the right block ends up picking up a kickball violation there. It'll actually be on Fordham, so St. Bonaventure will take it out on the right baseline under the basket. Pettinelli. Pass into Haskell on the right wing. She drives to the middle of the lane. Blocked by Rose Nelson at the rim. Great defensive stand there from the Rams defense.
And Rose Nelson, a very important figure in the locker room, a leader, vocal leader, but also provides a lot of production on the defensive end.
Tried to get into Robinson Dodge on the right block. It's intercepted and taken away by the Fordham defense. Fordham now has it, going the other way. DePool dribble handoff, Taylor Donaldson. Taylor Donaldson to Rose Nelson. Rose Nelson top of the arc to DePool, left wing. To Antoine. Antoine inside to Moore, middle of the paint. Back out to DePool. DePool's left wing three. No good off the right side of the rim. Offensive glass pickup by Moore. Moore tries to hit it off a defender out of bounds. It doesn't work out. Bonaventure's now going the other way. Smith pump faking out of the left corner. Driving baseline. Back out to Haskell. Her straight on three. No good. Rebound by Moore and the Rams. Rams still moving. Not slowing down. Nelson out of the right wing. Back out, Taylor Donaldson. Taylor Donaldson moving left around a Mora screen to Rose Nelson on the right wing by her feet. She couldn't hold on to it, out of bounds. And it'll be another turnover for the Fordham offense.
I'm just losing track here, Chris, and they really need to adjust right now. And down six, only down six, but certainly some room to improve, especially in controlling the basketball.
A timeout here. We'll take a little break along with the teams. It's a 19-13 St. Bonaventure lead over the Fordham Rams. 4:40 to go in this first half. We'll be right back from the Bronx.
How's it going, everyone? Will Talent here, your New York Giants beat reporter for the 2024 season. Follow alongside me at talent_Will on X to catch all of the updates on your New York Football Giants from MetLife Stadium. With rookie sensation Malik Neighbors and big free agent acquisition Brian Burns, WFUV Sports is the place for Big Blue coverage. WFUV, your home for New York sports.
Back here in the Bronx, 19-13 St. Bonaventure lead over the Fordham Rams. Chris Carrino joined by Ben Oppenheimer. 4:40 to go in this first half. And we've talked about it all afternoon so far. The Rams not quite living up to expectations. Some of the last few minutes of play, specifically in the second quarter, proved to be better signs, more positive signs for this Ram team.
Yeah, I mean, I said right before the timeout was called, only down six, they're still absolutely within this game. And I will note that when I called the game, the kids' game versus George Washington with our very own Madi Dembele, Fordham was struggling in the first half. That was a competitive game in the first, and then they pulled away in the second because they found their identity. They found their character again. And that's what Fordham needs to do right now. They just need to remember who they are, limit the unforced errors. You're not going to never turn it over. Turnovers always happen. They're bound to happen, but you have to limit what you can and be as poised and in control as you can. And right now they're not doing that. Also, what I notice is in the half court, they're very stagnant. They're not moving the ball around as much as they have in games where I've seen them about to get a big win. So really what is going to lead to winning is staying under control, but then also in those half court situations when you're not in transition, move the ball around. Make sure it's a free-flowing, cohesive offense, because if you do isolation and it becomes stiffed up, that's not going to lead to real sustained offensive production. So everyone has to get involved, has to be a well-oiled machine. That's the way to get back in this. And it doesn't require a ton. They're only down six.
And Ben, something that has worked against this Fordham team all year, specifically in early stages of games in the first half, has been their three-point shooting. Today has been no different. 1 for 8 from the three-point line. The more efficient that number gets as the game goes along, usually the better and the more in control Fordham is of the game.
Absolutely. That it's like the domino effect. That affects everything else. Fordham just got to make their shots and take advantage of those turnovers from Bonnies, leading to points on the other end.
Fordham already given up 13 points off of their own turnovers. That's 13 of the Bonnies' 19 points. Pretty staggering stat there. 19-13 Bonnies lead. To Haskell, left wing. She snatches through to the left, drives to the left, back out. Frost, left wing. Frost at the left elbow, back out. Haskell, guarded by the much bigger Rose Nelson. Driving left side of the lane. No good on the shot, but a late foul called. It'll be Danny Haskell going to the line for 2 for the Bonnies.
And you can see Danny Haskell is arguably the most lethal weapon offensively on this Bonnies team as she heads to the line.
First one, no good for Danny Haskell. Haskell shooting a very impressive 89% on the year, a rare miss for her. Still looking for her first points of the afternoon. Doesn't get it there, misses on both. Second off back iron, and 0 for 2 at the free throw line. Fordham has it now. Donaldson, top of the arc. Dribble handoff, Nelson, left wing. Nelson to Shea Harris, to Antoine. Back to Taylor Donaldson, left corner, drives baseline side, and finishes at the rim. Taylor Donaldson with the bucket. She's got Fordham back within 4. 19-15, 3:46 to go in this first half. Frost, top of the key to Smith. Smith to Haskell, right wing. Haskell looking for some off-ball movement. Eventually gets it inside. Frost missing at the rim on the post-work offense. Now Fordham moving the other way. Donaldson to Rose Nelson, left corner. Inside, Mora, left post, and she finishes at the rim, lays it up at the rim. Irene Mora using her size to her advantage, and she's got Fordham back within 2. 19-17, 3:15 to go in this first half.
And she's such a vital part of this offense. That's what's going to lead to them taking back control of this game. Only down 2. Donaldson, the nice feed. She's also a big reason for why they potentially could be heading for a comeback here.
19-17, still a Bonnies lead. We'll be right back. 3:17 to go in this first half. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
What's up, everyone? I'm Lou Orlando.
I'm Nick Guzman.
And I'm Chaz McAdams.
We're your broadcasters for Fordham Men's Basketball.
Led by Jackie Johnson, Keith Urgo's Rams are looking to make waves in the 100th anniversary season at the Rose Hill Gym.
We've got you covered for the highs, the lows, the X's and O's as Fordham takes on the gauntlet of the A10.
Don't miss a game. 90.7 FM WFUV is the home of Fordham Men's Basketball.
Brendan Shorey here from the sidelines, and a lot of new messages from Coach Mitchell on that last timeout. A big one for her is physicality on setting screens. They are getting pushed around way too easily. Staying on the offensive side of the ball, they need to kick it out more. They have open shooters, and St. Bonaventure is doubling and tripling down in the paint. They need to kick it. Yet there is one more reinforced message. Watch 22. She had 3 open threes in a span of 5 minutes, and Coach Mitchell needs them to stay on her. Back to you, Chris.
Fantastic work there from Brendan Shorey. He'll be back at least 2 more times this afternoon. That number 22 he's referring to, Danny Haskell. She's been fantastic this afternoon. It's going to be a foul there on the offensive end for the Rams. It'll be, I believe, it'll be a free throw, 2 free throws to be exact, for Renee Mora. Renee Mora, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist so far this afternoon. Her first free throws of the afternoon. She takes her first and hits Mora, bringing Fordham within 1, 19-18, 2:29 to go in this first half.
And she's usually pretty strong from the charity stripe as she takes her second here.
And makes it. Irene Mora 2 for 2 at the line. You weren't lying, man. Played up ahead. Bonaventure offense working quickly. 2:25 to go in this first half. Robinson Dodge pump faking out of the right wing, driving inside. No good on her shot, but she'll get fouled and go to the line for 2. Still tie game at 19. 2:20 exactly to go in this first half.
Well, I will note that as this is a tie game now, the field goal shooting percentage has about evened out, or it's about to even out. Fordham shooting 29%, Bonnie shooting 34%, and she misses her first there for Ford. Ford's going to take her second here.
Robinson Ford no good on the second. Gabby Robinson Ford, Gulf Coast State transfer. 9.7 rebounds a game last season with them. Shea Harris working out of the left wing, driving through the left side of the lane, fouled on the dribble, and she'll actually have an inbound. It'll be on the left baseline, be taken out, I believe, by Taylor Donaldson. Yeah, Taylor Donaldson will go over to it. Left baseline, 2:06 to go in this first half. Still a tie at 19. 4-corner set for the Rams in the paint through all 4 corners. Eventually, Antoine gets it out of the left block. She gives it to Shea Harris. Shea Harris has it, top of the arc. Harris dribble handoff, Donaldson, same spot. Donaldson directing the off-ball movement. Another dribble handoff, Rose Nelson, left wing. Back out, Shea Harris, right wing. Pass inside to Mora. Mora in front of her defender, gets to the rim and lays it in. Arene Mora, more good work inside for this Rams offense.
That's the type of free-flowing offense, cohesion that I'm talking about. That beautiful read inside to a cutting Mora.
Rams have the lead 21-19, and it goes away just like that. Zoe Shaw with the straight-on 3 for the Bonnies, and she snatches that lead right back. 22-21, Bonnies lead, 1:24 to go in this first half. Rose Nelson, jab step out of the right wing to Antoine, top of the arc, a foul off the ball. That's going to be a takeout on the baseline once again. Actually, no, 5th foul for the Bonnies. It's free throw time in the bonus. Arene Mora going to go to the line for 2. Still 1-point deficit for the Rams, 22-21, 1:17 to go in this first half.
And Mora already with 10 points. Looking to take her first, and straight swish.
Makes that one.
And you could say that she's really the second scoring option, but there's obviously many players in this lineup who can score effectively outside of Donaldson. She makes her second there.
A perfect trip to the line for Arene Mora, my mistake. And the Rams have the lead back, 23-22, 1:17 to go in this very eventful first half. Nice full court press here from the Rams. They force a turnover. Arene Mora has it. Deep on the left wing to Taylor Donaldson. She has it on top of the Fordham script logo. Dribble handoff deep right wing, Shea Harris. Shea Harris to Rose Nelson, left wing. Dribble handoff opposite wing, Taylor Donaldson. To Kayla Berry, top of the key. Inside to Mora. Mora backing down her defender. Back out to Berry. 10 on the shot clock. Donaldson straight on 3, takes it. No good off back iron. A foul on the floor. I believe it's going to be on Fordham and Arene Mora. And this possession will go the other way. 49 seconds to go in this first half. Still a 1-point lead for the Rams.
Well, even if it's going the other way, this Fordham team looked like they were reclaiming their old selves, forcing that turnover there and almost getting points, but no cigar as they're looking to close out this first half on the right note.
Nice fake dribble handoff there by Frost. Getting inside, not getting the bucket. Fordham's now moving the other way with speed. Shea Harris stopping at the left wing, taking the mid-ranger. No good off back iron. Shot clock is turned off. 26 seconds left. 20 seconds flat to go in this second quarter. 23-22. Fordham lead over the Bonnies. Bonnies with the ball. Zoe Shaw, top of the arc, crossing over, left to right, getting into the lane. Floater in the middle of the lane, gets it to go. Zoe Shaw with the nifty work offensively, and she's got the Bonnies back out to a lead, 24-23. Fordham offense coming quickly the other way, and with 2.3 seconds left, a kick ball violation gives Fordham an inbound. What a sequence there.
So much chaos out there on the floor. Usually Fordham takes advantage of that, but a lot of times in this first half, they seem almost lost in the sauce, if you will.
Shea Harris deep on the right wing, inbounding this one. 2.3 seconds left on the first half clock. Berry gets it top of the key and fires. No good on her jumper, and that's how our first half will end here in the Bronx. 24-23, Bonnies with a lead. Some would say a surprising lead, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, we noted that this Bonnies team definitely struggling in conference play, to say the least. 1-7, but hey, they've held their own here in the Bronx at the Roseau Gym, shooting better than Fordham from the field. 38% for Bonnies, 30% for Fordham, and then from 3, Bonnies shooting much better, 33%, which is below average, but still decent considering how they've shot from 3 all season. And then Fordham shooting 10%, 1 for 10 from beyond the arc. That's got to change. You mentioned a key part of igniting this offense and making the momentum go back their way is knocking down those threes. They've only knocked down 1 in the first half. That's got to change if they want to get back in this and take control in the second half, Chris.
Lots for Coach Bridgette Mitchell to talk to her team about in the halftime. That's it for us for the first half. We'll be back with second half action. But first, we're going to send it back to the Rose Hill Studios for a halftime report with our hosts George Fukatakis and Sophia Smith. We'll be right back, guys.
The one-on-one halftime report.
Welcome to the Rose Hill Studios. I'm George Fukatakis, joined by Sophia Smith, and the Rams are trailing the St. Bonaventure Bonnies by 1 with a score of 24-23. What are your thoughts after this first half of basketball?
It's been an eventful first half. I think that Fordham looked really dejected at the beginning. There were a lot of unforced turnovers, and the shooting percentage was very low compared to what it has been. But they picked it up offensively and turned it into an interesting game. For sure.
Definitely for the first about quarter and a half of basketball, it was very much like who was playing worse. And that was the Rams playing worse than the Bonnies. But then towards the end of the second quarter, the Rams picked it up, started moving in transition more, and figured out the game that they needed to play from the tip.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with Mora and Donaldson, who lead the team with Donaldson has 9 points, Mora with 12. I would like to see more from some of the starters. 2 of them, I believe, have 0 points so far. It's the same for the Bonnies. 2 of their starters also are lacking in points. So neither team playing super amazingly offensively, but I like to see more.
Yeah, I fully agree. And Danny Haskell for the Bonnies was their shining light, and Fordham really shut it down so far this game. 0 for 8, but on the other hand, Zoe Shaw has been carrying this Bonnies team with 14 of their 24 points, and Fordham really has been playing defense hard enough to stop her. Same, and going the other way for the Bonnies too. The Bonnies only 3 Rams scored. 12 points for Irina Mora, 2 for Taya Davis, and 9 for Taylor Donaldson. It's not really a team game. It's like running the offense through 3 people.
Yes, I'd like to see just more attack from everyone, more ball movement, just really getting in offensively and making those baskets.
Yeah, completely. And one thing you have to point out is only 10 total assists between the 2 teams. There has been much ball movement. The shooting has been very lackluster, 30% for the Rams, 38% for the Bonnies, and I feel like the Rams really need to start swinging the rock and moving more off ball to be able to put together more clean possessions.
The Rams had 11 turnovers, which allowed the Bonnies to get 13 points off turnovers, which that can't happen.
For sure, and just like Ben Oppenheimer said, the Rams aren't playing clean basketball. It's very choppy, very bumpy, and the only way that they can really fix their flaws is by trying to straighten out the game and move off ball and create better possessions.
Yeah, and there was a lot of back and forth with the score, and I think that they really need to get sustainable offense.
Yes, and looking at past games, the Rams really haven't came out strong off the tip. They really start out bumpy, start out slow, but they really pick it up in the second half. And I would like to see that happen in this second half, similar to what's happened in past games.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And you have to also look at the three-point shooting. The Rams are 1 for 6 from beyond the arc. My fault, 1 for 10 behind the arc, and the Bonnies are 4 for 12. The Rams really haven't been that good of a three-point shooting team, so they really need to work on that and practice more, because at past games they haven't been shooting from the beyond the arc that well. So I feel like they need to stop taking those lower percentage shots, feed it down low to people like Irina Mora, who have been leading this team, and clean up that basketball. It's more basketball IQ off instead of like playing in flow. So I feel like that needs to just clean up and straighten out.
Yeah, I think that this is totally a winnable game for Fordham. They are the better team. They should win this. They should be leading. I'd just like to see more from everyone.
Yeah, I feel like the team really isn't playing a complete game. They aren't playing a complete game. They're not playing as a team. They're really feeding their offense through Taylor Donaldson and Irina Mora, and it's kept them competitive. But the Rams are a better team than this. They can beat this team easily, and as a team, they just aren't working as a unit.
Mm-hmm. A shining spot, though, is the Bonnies are 0 for 5 on free throws, and the Rams are 4 for 4, so that's definitely good. Yeah. I know you touched on this a little bit, but what are you looking for in the next half?
I'm looking for the Rams to really just be a unit. They're not being a unit. No, they're not really. They're giving their bench minutes, but they're not playing as a collective unit. Only 3 people scoring and a total of 23 points and a half is not acceptable. They really need to figure out what's going on and play as a team. Just play as a team.
Yeah. And I would like to see more from Harris. She has 0 points right now, and Wilson Saltos.
There's been no production from the bench. That's another thing, and that's for both teams. There's not much bench production. They need to get more people involved. They can't just strictly run the offense through Arena Moore and Taylor Donaldson for the complete game.
But they're only down by 1, and they've played most of this game from behind, so I think that they can rally.
Yeah, I think this team really starts defensively. I think their offense really comes when they're playing well defensively, when they get the intensity going there first. So I think if the Rams can lock up a little bit better, get the intensity up on defense, that'll really get the ball flowing, get that transition game that they're good in going, and it'll really open up the offensive floor for them. You can use the athleticism a lot better when the floor is stretched out like that. So I think if they really get their defense started early, focus on that in halftime, and come out focusing on that D.
Yeah, completely. Like we said before, there have only been 10 total assists in the half, and they're not playing as a unit. They're playing slower. They're letting the Bonnie slow them down when their real goal is to play in transition
and prevent the turnovers, because that's not going to lead to anything good.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, 13 points off turnovers for the Bonnies off of our 11 is actually a blessing in disguise. They're only capitalizing on half of our turnovers when it could easily be 20 points, 25 points off of that, and that lead, instead of being 1, it could be 15.
Yeah, and then when you look at the Bonnies and their best player not even playing that well, that really lets you know that the Rams have to step up. You were talking about playing completely, having more assists, playing more as a whole on offense, and that's really hard to do when you're always playing in the half-court set like we're talking about. It's so much easier to get that creativity flowing, get the feet moving and everything when you're playing good on the defensive end first. Really lets you bring that momentum back to the other side of the court. So I think their offense just will get a lot better once that defense gets up along with it.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, they haven't played this. They really haven't came out swinging from the tip at all this season. They get going in the second half. They get going once they're in flow, in motion, and I feel like that's something that needs to be worked on. And then you also have to look at the Bonnies. The Bonnies have been able to stop them. They've been able to slow them down. They've been able to keep them in a set instead of having them in motion, and that comes from defense being a better offense. That's an old head statement, but the best offense is a good defense.
Very
Hopefully,
true.
for the sake of this game, their second half will be better, as it usually is. But I definitely think that in the future they need to work on jumping in right from the beginning.
And one thing that's infuriating me is only 3 of our players have scored. 3
Yeah.
players. You have 12. 3 people cannot be the only people scoring. I don't know, other than swinging the rock. I don't know what else they can do to fix that.
Yeah, they're really trying to get into the paint and play that game that they're used to, but instead it's just chucking the ball up from the outside, no assists like you were talking about, not moving the ball around.
And then 1 for 10 from 3.
Exactly. A lot of stop and pop threes while you're shooting 1 from 10 out there really isn't the formula. And then along with that, you have to go get offensive boards if you're going to take that many threes. Not really doing too well.
It's low percentage
in that
shots.
department either.
It's just low percentage shots.
Yeah, they have a shooting percentage of 30 right now, but it was bad in the beginning.
Yeah, we were outscored 17-11 in the first quarter. Second quarter, we made a little bit of a comeback, had the lead for a little bit, shot 25% from the field in the second quarter. Jeez, that's brutal. I hate to be that guy, but the shooting percentage is what's killing us.
Mm-hmm.
We're 30% from the field is not efficient basketball. It just isn't.
Yeah, really got to get the ball down there in the paint a lot more out here.
Yeah, I would just like to see, like as you said, just work as a unit, work together defensively and offensively.
Yeah, completely. But there is a shining light. 27, we're out rebounding the Bonnies by 14, 27-13, and then 10 offensive boards. That's where the Rams really need to start capitalizing, is on that offensive glass. If they're able to get those second chance points, you put it up, just even take a foul. Take a foul, get to the line, stop the clock, hit your 2 free throws, and then go back and play a hard defense.
Yeah, turning those O boards into points are huge. They're winning the O board matchup here by 8. They're just not turning those into points.
Exactly.
Losing the turnover battle, but then the Bonnies are turning those turnovers into points. So when you really have a stat line like that, you need it to come out.
It's polarizing. You're getting the second chance points, but then after the second chance points, you're turning the ball over and then letting the Bonnies run with it.
Yep.
It's just transition basketball is the way Fordham plays. They haven't been playing the transition basketball. The Bonnies have been playing the transition basketball and creating those inflow points that they're able to stop on defense. That defense creates energy, and then that it's momentum. Basketball's a game of momentum. It's a game of momentum, game of swings. And the Bonnies have had more swings than the Rams so far, but the Rams getting back into it in the end of that second quarter really shines. Gives a little bit of a hope going into the second half.
Yeah. And it being a game of momentum gives you some hope if you're a Ram fan over here, because you know that momentum could swing right away, especially when your team is doing the little things right, just not turning it into points, like we said, the O boards and all that.
And hopefully those without points right now can get more into the game in the second half.
And let's hope the Rams are able to change everything in the second half, use the momentum going in, and come out with a W. And that's going to do it for our halftime show. George Fugatakis, joined by Sophia Smith, Evan Harkin coming in, giving us a hand there. Sending it back to Chris and Ben in the historic Rose Hill Gym.
Hey guys, it's Rose Nelson from Fordham Women's Basketball. You can catch all our games this season on WFUV Sports YouTube page. Follow along as we chase the Atlantic 10 title. WFUV is the home of Fordham Women's Basketball.
Back here at the Rose Hill Gym, the Fordham Rams, I think a bit to their surprise, are down here at the half, 24-23 to the St. Bonaventure Bonnies. I'm Chris Carrino, joined by my partner, Ben Oppenheimer. Ben, a bit of a surprising half for the Rams. What can they just do to get back on the right track here in the second half?
Yeah, it's almost like they were knocked off their feet, not expecting this team to come in there and play the way they did in that first half. The Bonnies definitely putting up a fight, forcing turnovers, generating defense into offense, doing what Fordham usually does, beating Fordham at their own game. And the question here in the second is Fordham going to take that right back? Only down 1, but they have a lot of things to make adjustments on, particularly the field goal percentage, the shooting from the field, 30%, and then from beyond the arc, 10%. You also look at, in terms of points off turnovers, as you noted earlier in the first, Chris, 13-5, the Bonnies are outdoing Fordham in that department, 13-5 in points off turnovers. Points in the paint, however, is just about even. So really move the ball around, especially pass to a cutting Mora in the paint. That's a way to ignite this offense, get some points on the board. You want to ignite a spark offensively in this team. That's going to lead to more cohesion and an ability to get it under control. But it starts with little things, which is controlling the ball, moving the ball around when you're in that half-court setting, and making a productive use of your possessions. A lot of times they didn't capitalize on moments where the Bonnies turned the ball over. Now it's going the other way, and they never scored on that possession. If you're Fordham, you want to see more of those opportunities capitalized and taken advantage of. That's how they take control, get back in this lead, and pull ahead in this one, Chris.
Absolutely, and we heard George touch on a little bit at the halftime, but the rebound discrepancy, a place that does exist right now. The Rams out at least offensively rebounding the Bonnies 10-2. They're out rebounding them in total 27-13.
Yeah.
Being able to keep that gap, first of all, what it is, maybe even expanding on it, but more generally, being able to take advantage of the more opportunities on the offensive end. It might lead to more efficiency from them, shooting the ball, field goal percentage-wise, but also just might lead to the momentum of this game just changing a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you what, in spite of the poor shooting, in spite of the turnovers, the reason that they're only down 1 is because of the offensive rebounding, which has been superb today. And it's a key factor in why this team wins games. Is that they're so good on crashing the boards, getting those offensive rebounds. They're ranked 3rd in the A-10, 41st in the nation, averaging 14.1 offensive rebounds per game and holding a plus 4.4 rebounding margin. That's the 85th best in D1 women's college basketball.
Talked about points off turnovers, 13-5. That gap didn't get any larger than its largest, which was 10, 13-3. And we'll start it off. Second half basketball starting here at the Rose Hill Gym. Fordham going left to right in their home white uniforms. Taylor Donaldson receiving a backdoor pass and finishing on the left baseline, starting off this half well for the Rams and giving them the lead, 25-24, 9:45 to go in this third quarter. St. Bonaventure working offensively in their brown away uniforms, going right to left. Haskell getting it into the left block, now in the left corner. Pettinelli back out. Shaw behind the back dribble out of the right wing. Pass into Richardson, dribbling into a mid-ranger and hitting from the right elbow. Richardson getting this Bonnie offense back out and keeping them level with the Fordham Rams.
Yeah, definitely setting a tone here in the second half so far.
Shea Harris to Taya Davis, right wing. Back up top to Wilson Saltos. Wilson Saltos setting a screen. Shea Harris picking up a double team out of the left wing. Haskell and Shea Harris fighting for it on the ground. Eventually Wilson Saltos gets it, passes it back out. Taya Davis, right wing three, no good. Another opportunity gathered by Wilson Saltos. It'll be a foul on the ground on, I believe that's Pettinelli of the St. Bonaventure, but really, really tough and strong work there from Wilson Saltos.
Yeah, and that's, again, we talked about that determination to keep possessions alive. You saw it right there from Wilson Saltos.
Shea Harris gathers it out of the left wing, passes it inside to the left block. It goes off the foot of a St. Bonaventure defender. It'll be taken out on the baseline, the left baseline, by the Fordham Rams. Pass to Shea Harris, left wing. Harris back up top to Taya Davis. Davis going right around to Morris Green through the right side of the lane. Right-handed layup, no good. Rebound Wilson Saltos. Second chance, no good from her. And eventually a defensive rebound brought in by Mackenzie Pettinelli. Zoe Shaw bringing it up for the Bonnies offense. Shaw tried to cross over. Taya Davis was there on the reach-in, and it's on the ground. It'll be a foul called on Zoe Shaw. Taya Davis on the steal.
Taya Davis, we know her defensive prowess, but also her ability to score on the other end, can do a lot of different things for this team, and that's what they're going to need to get back in this one. You know, they're already back in it, you could say, but to take control is to have these Swiss Army knife players really do everything the right way.
Taya Davis working out of the left wing to Wilson Saltos, top of the arc. Saltos, dribble handoff, Donaldson. Donaldson top of the arc to Taya Davis, left wing. Back up top to Taylor Donaldson. To Taya Davis, same spot, top of the arc. Crossover right to left, floater middle of the lane. Good off the glass. Taya Davis, nifty playmaking work there. She's got the Rams out to a 1-point lead, 27-26, 7:45 to go in this third quarter.
You got to love that signature floater from Taya Davis.
Frost out of the left wing in the opposite wing. Now in the right corner, Richardson. Richardson driving through the middle of the lane, traveling on the way. It gets called, and a turnover to the St. Bonaventure offense. Fordham going to get it back.
Well, here's an example right here of Fordham getting an opportunity, an unforced error from St. Bonaventure. Are the Rams able to turn it into points on the other end here on this possession?
Turnovers piling up for St. Bonaventure. That was their 9th to Fordham's 11. Moore receives it on the roll, now has it on the right block, puts up a circus right-handed layup, no good. Bonaventure offense coming with speed the other way. Richardson has it, stops at the right block, passing to a driving Pettinelli. Pettinelli gets it to Shaw, left wing, drives, back out Pettinelli, right wing three, no good off the right side of the rim. Rebound by Taya Davis in the Fordham offense. They're moving the other way. Taya Davis, pass to Rose Nelson, and that one flies out of bounds. It was a 3-on-2. Passing on the left lane, just a little too far on the left lane and out of bounds.
Well, even though they're lucky to have this 1-point lead right now, what we saw in those past two possessions is exactly an example of what I was talking about. coming out of halftime, not taking full advantage of these opportunities that are handed to them on a silver platter to pull ahead, to score, and not what they wanted on those past 2 possessions.
Precious Omashola subbing in for Emma Wilson-Saltos. And Frost is there to Richardson on the left wing. She drives, back out. Haskell pump fakes, drives to the rim, and finishes with a layup left-handed at the rim. It's 28-27. Bonnies lead 6.5 to go in this third quarter. Davis out of the right wing to Omashola, top of the arc, ball above her head, dribble handoff Donaldson. Donaldson calling for a screen, moving right around a screen, finding Omashola on the roll. She puts up a floater middle of the lane, doesn't get it to go. Bonaventure is there on the defensive glass. They now have it the other way. Zoe Shaw on the Fordham script logo, guarded tightly by Taya Davis. She has it on a steal. Laying it up with the right hand the other way. Taya Davis letting the defense translate into the offense.
There we go. That's exactly what I'm talking about right there.
So Shaw driving through the middle of the lane and finishing with a layup at the rim. Right-handed finish at the rim. Bonaventure snatching the lead right back, 30-29, 5:45 to go in this third quarter. Donaldson lob pass to Moore, kicking it out, left corner Davis. She hits. Taya Davis with the left corner 3. She's got the Rams out to a 2-point lead, 32-30, 5.5 to go in this third quarter.
A lucky bounce for her. You just got to hope if you're Fordham, you get a stop here, up 2 now, a chance to expand the lead.
Frost from the left corner, driving baseline, finishing in the middle of the paint at the rim, and she's got Bonaventure back tied at 32, 5:10 to go in this third quarter. Donaldson out of the left wing, moving right around an Omashola screen, picking up a double team. Tamora, right wing, in the right corner. Davis, wide open, her 3, no good off back iron. Shaw gets the rebound, outlet pass ahead to Frost. Frost puts on the brakes, out to Pettinelli, top of the arc. They're resetting the offense. Pettinelli standing on the script logo, looking around at her teammates. To Richardson, deep on the right wing. Richardson, dribble handoff, Haskell. Haskell in the left corner to Shaw. Shaw working on the tightly defending Donaldson. Donaldson tips it out of bounds. It'll stay on this side with Bonaventure. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Timeout taken by Coach Bridgette Mitchell.
Well, it's such a push and pull momentum right now. I mean, there's no real momentum for either team. Every time Fordham scores on possession, you saw that steal from Taya Davis and getting the layup in transition. Then the Bonnies answer right back with a layup of their own in the paint. So really it's a question of, it's almost who's going to blink first and let the other team pull ahead because of some error that they make, a turnover or a missed shot. But right now it's really about as even as it gets. Tie game, of course. Fordham shooting 32% from the field. Bonnie's shooting a much better 45%. But once again, Chris, the reason that Fordham is in this one and is tied right now is because Fordham is out rebounding St. Bonaventure 30-17, and then especially in offensive rebounding 12-2, and then defensive rebounding 18-15. So really, that is what is keeping Fordham alive is that determination to keep these possessions alive. But really, still work needs to be done to clean things up, especially in the half court, to make the right passes to a cutting player inside, making the smart plays. Right now, we're still seeing some of that sloppiness, especially in transition, and Bonaventure's taking advantage, but we've also seen Fordham take advantage. That's why it's so even right now. We'll see which team breaks first.
We haven't seen much of an improvement on the Rams' behalf from the three-point line. They're continuing to struggle from the three-point line. When I gave the stat earlier, I think they were 1 of 8. Now they're 2 of 13 from the field from 3. That needs to improve down the stretch here if you're going to want points, especially an abundance of points against this same Bonaventure team, which has shown that the pace is just seemingly all over the place, Ben.
Of course. I mean, you said it. I said it earlier. The three-point shooting is going to be the key in whether Fordham is going to just barely eke out a win or lose, or if they're going to pull ahead. If they start knocking down those shots from the perimeter, that's going to really open this game up. But right now, 2 for 13, that's very hard. It's very hard to win a basketball game with numbers like that, with shooting splits like that. So really need to work on getting players open. It's obviously sometimes you're going to miss shots, and some players will just have a bad night, or they'll have a mental thing where they're just not making their shots as they usually do. But what I think more of what it comes down to is getting the players open for the smart shots. And that is because it depends on being in half court and having that free-flowing, cohesive offense. If it's stagnant, if it's heavily based in isolation, you're going to have people that are not moving around, not getting open, not getting the shots that they want, not making the shots that they want.
4:31 to go in this third quarter, tied at 32. 7 lead changes in this game, 2 ties. The largest lead for the heavily favored Fordham Rams is only 2. That was the lead they just had. This St. Bonaventure team coming in as a bit of an underdog has pretty much controlled as you would say in boxing, bell to bell.
Yes, and certainly been a chaotic but entertaining watch, as
absolutely
many of these games have been.
This Fordham Ram, this Coach Brissett Mitchell-led Fordham Ram team has given much fireworks this season, many fantastic games. Frost gets it on the inbound from St. Bonaventure, and just at the end of the shot clock puts up a heave, no good, and the Rams will get it back.
A great defensive possession from the Rams on that one.
Donaldson bringing it up for the Rams, still tied 32. 4:21 to go in the third quarter. Veljovic out of the right wing to Wilson Saltos, top of the key. Dribble handoff, Taylor Donaldson, left wing. Another dribble handoff from Caleb Berry to Rose Nelson. Back to Wilson Saltos, back to Veljovic. Veljovic out of the left wing, driving baseline side, putting up a mid-ranger and hitting. Veljovic on the impressive offensive work. She's got the Rams back out to a 2-point lead, 34-32, 3:51 to go in this third quarter. Shaw drifting over to the right wing, on the opposite wing to Haskell. Haskell crossing over right to left, in the left corner to Richardson, back out to Frost. Tried to get it to Shaw on the skip pass, intercepted by Caleb Berry, out of bounds. It'll stay here with the Bonnies.
Well, definitely a lot of stopping and starting, some whistles that have kind of stymied the momentum or lack of momentum of both teams.
And a quick fire, Haskell airballing from the left corner off the inbound. It'll be out of bounds in favor of the Rams. More defensive stops for the Fordham Rams. This is what they need, Ben.
Absolutely, but along with the defensive stops, there needs to be an offensive, I wouldn't say explosion, but they could use that, but certainly some spark on the other end here. Looking to players like Taylor Donaldson for that one.
Taylor Donaldson has the ball out of the left wing, driving on her defender, inside to Wilson Salto. She can't hold on to it, and eventually it's in the hands of St. Bonaventure. They're moving offensively. Pettinelli, top of the arc, dribble handoff Shaw. Same spot, top of the arc, guarded by Donaldson. Skip pass, eventually in the corner to Richardson, guarded tightly by Wilson Saltos, and Wilson Saltos will pick up the foul. Reach-in foul for Wilson Saltos. First team foul of the quarter. It'll stay on this side with the Bonnies.
And you know, on that previous possession for Fordham, and that's just another missed opportunity. You know, the pass inside to Wilson Saltos, and she just couldn't handle it. And a turnover once again, now giving the Bonnies a chance to tie it or pull ahead by 1 here.
Shaw, top of the arc, 2:56 to go in the third quarter. 2-point lead for the Rams. Shaw driving through the left side of the lane, stripped on the way by Wilson Saltos. Rams offense going the other way. Veljovic stopping at the top of the arc, trying to get it inside to Caleb Berry. It was inerrant and going the other way. Bonnies have it on the steal. Shaw from the right wing, driving through the middle of the lane. No good on her shot, picking up a bunch of contact. She'll pick up the shooting foul and go to the line for 2.
Fouls on Rose Nelson, and she's definitely a defensive impact on the floor, off the bench here. And we're going to hand it to Brendan Shorey now for an update from the sidelines.
Zoe Shaw at the line. Brendan, what'd you hear in the last timeout?
Yeah, we've seen the Bonnies start doubling and trapping off of the screens at the top of the key so far this half, and that's what Coach Mitchell noted. She said to look for the cuts from the post players setting the screen and for the back cuts as well from that back corner from whichever player is there. A big thing that Fordham is looking to do now.
Thank you, Brendan. Brendan getting himself involved in the huddles during the timeouts, getting us some of that vital information as the Fordham offense is now working. 2 for 2 for Shaw at the line, and a steal for Shaw. Shaw in transition the other way, stopping at the left wing, past to Haskell right next to her, eventually in the hands of Pettinelli. And that one flying out of bounds in the right corner, back to the Rams. Another turnover for the St. Bonnie's offense. St. Bonaventure offense just not quite able to hold on to the ball right now.
Yeah, and really you could say that for Fordham as well. Both teams just can't seem to maintain a hold on the game.
Veljovic dribble handoff, left wing. Taylor Donaldson now has it top of the arc. In the left corner, Veljovic, no good on the three, off back iron. Davis gets the second chance for the Rams to Taylor Donaldson, who hits. Big three for Taylor Donaldson out of the right wing. And she's got Fordham up 3 now, 37-34. Taya Davis was there to get the second chance on the offensive rebound, and Taylor Donaldson made them pay for it almost immediately. And right away, Haskell answers from the right corner with a 3. Danny Haskell with the 3 almost right away, and she's got St. Bonaventure back level at 37. Another 3 taken right away by Taylor Donaldson. That one's no good, and a bit of a scrum physically on the ground, on the floor. Eventually, it'll be a foul, I believe, on St. Bonaventure. It'll stay on this side, and the Rams will get it on an inbound. 37-37 after the crazy sequence. 1:26 to go in this quarter.
Well, to me, that just was another defensive error, letting Haskell shoot the 3 wide open in the right corner, and now it's a tie game once again. So many lapses on both ends. Really need to get it together, get under control.
Mora out of the left block, out to Taya Davis, left wing, back into Mora. Mora working under defender. Circus shot goes, plus the foul! Irene Mora contorting her body to the right side of the rim, finishing at the right side of the rim, plus one more at the line. A chance of completing the three-point play. What a play from Irene Mora.
Mora muscling inside, doing what she does best, getting to the basket, and the foul, shooting 1 at the line. 14 points for her, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and she makes her second there. 4 for 4 from the line. She's been a key factor in why this game is a close one.
And a full court press here from the Rams ends in a Fordham foul in the backcourt. It'll be inflicted on Shaw. Shaw was the culprit. Not the culprit, the victim. Got my
wordplay.
Got my words mixed up there. A little more law and order wouldn't do me terribly. As Shaw gets it on the inbound in the backcourt. Eventually now in the front court to Pettinelli, deep on the right wing. To Haskell, right wing, guarded tightly by Taylor Donaldson, who picks up the foul. Reach-in foul at the top of the arc. Haskell a little shaken up after the play, holding her Ant 1 low tops, Anthony Edwards Adidas signature shoe. She seems to be okay, walking it off slightly. Still 40-37, Rams lead, 1:02 to go in this third quarter.
You're such a sneakerhead, Chris.
I am.
Immediately were able to determine which type of sneaker that was. I don't have that ability, or I used to back in middle school. But
I haven't been a self-proclaimed sneakerhead in a long time, but my multiple trips to SneakerCon just seemingly never leave me. You may leave the SneakerCon never leaves you. Taya Davis on the steal at midcourt, behind her to Carissa Antoine, who can't finish at the rim, missing the rim entirely, and the St. Bonaventure offense coming quickly the other way. Haskell pump faking at the right wing 3, driving to the rim, and rejected by Antoine. Back out, Smith's 3, no good from the right corner, and that one goes out of bounds. Players pointing both directions, and eventually I think it'll be St. Bonaventure ball left baseline. They'll inbound it. A wild sequence there from both teams.
To say the least. Well, my eyes are catching up with my brain here, or vice versa.
35.3 on the third quarter clock, 40-37 Fordham lead. A foul off the ball there on the Rams on the inbound. It's going to be on number 9, Anastasia Veljovic. It'll be her first. Now 5 team fouls on the Rams to St. Bonaventure's 4. St. Bonaventure 1 more for the bonus. 2 shots now at the line for St. Bonaventure. More specifically, Danny Haskell, Frankenville, New York native. Good on the first from the Franklinville native. Haskell 5 points, 3 rebounds tonight, 1 of 3 so far at the free throw line.
And she's the senior, the de facto leader on this team as she makes her second at the charity stripe there.
Yeah, younger group for this Bonnies team. She has slid into that more mature role as a senior. 40-39, 1 point Fordham lead, 34 seconds to go on the third quarter clock. Shot clock still on, 25 seconds on that. Substitution just now as well. Maya Giles-Jones coming in for Anastasia Veljevic. Taya Davis holding on to it deep on the left wing. Now moving her right around an Antoine screen. To Donaldson, right corner, her 3. No good off the front of the rim. A scrum for it on the baseline. Eventually ends up in the hands of Caitlin Frost. Bonaventure offense moving the other way. Up ahead to Shaw. She has it at the rim and finishes at the rim. With 2 seconds to spare, the Bonnie offense gets a bucket and gets the lead. 41-40, Bonaventure lead over the Fordham Rams heading into the fourth quarter.
And what a thrill, a seesaw, a roller coaster ride that we've seen here in this third quarter. Back and forth, both teams struggling to get a handle on the game, take control. We'll see in the fourth which team pulls ahead. Fordham certainly still in this one. They were even ahead by as much as 3. Now only down 1. Definitely have to, again, the same theme throughout this one. Limit the turnovers, do things the right way, get the right shots, and things will go well for them.
That's it for us after 3, 41-40, St. Bonaventure lead over the Fordham Rams. We'll have you covered for the fourth quarter, what we can only assume is a very exciting fourth quarter. But first, we're going to send it back to the Rose Hill Studios for a one-on-one scoreboard update with Sophia Smith. Take it over, Sophia.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Checking in on A10 women's basketball, the UMass Minute women beat the VCU Rams 54-49 in Richmond. The St. Joseph's Hawks are up 49-31 against the LaSalle Explorers with 3:30 remaining in the third quarter. And George Mason is visiting George Washington, where the Revolutionaries are leading the Patriots 14-10 after the first quarter. Moving on to tonight's NBA matchups across the Big Apple, the Nets are hosting the Miami Heat at Barclays Center, game time set for 6 p.m. And finally, at Madison Square Garden, the Knicks will face the Sacramento Kings, tip-off at 7:30. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Sophia Smith.
Chris Carrino, joined by my partner Ben Oppenheimer, Brendan Shorey on the sideline reporting duties. We'll hear from him one more time this afternoon. Fordham Rams down going into the fourth quarter, a sentence I don't think Coach Bridgette Mitchell or anyone in their program thought we would be saying this afternoon. 41-40, St. Bonaventure lead heading into the fourth and final quarter. An impressive performance for the first 3 quarters at least from this Bonnie team, Ben.
Yeah, definitely punching above their weight and coming in here surprising this Fordham program, surprising the fans who thought this would be an easy W. But once again, Chris, no such thing as an easy W in college basketball or basketball in general. And any team can beat you on any given night. Right now, St. Bonaventure has certainly been doing the right things offensively, at least in comparison to Fordham. Once again, I'll call back to the shooting splits. St. Bonaventure 43% from the field, Fordham 34%, excuse me. Fordham originally was shooting in the 20s there, but they've improved in that aspect. But really, it's the three-point shooting where St. Bonaventure has that glaring chasm, you could say.
Chasm?
With Fordham, 17% from the field, 3 for 17 for Fordham. St. Bonaventure's taken just around the same amount of shots from 3, but has made more. They're 5 for 16. And really, it's the rebounding that's keeping Fordham alive, the determination to keep the possessions alive. If Fordham wins this game, it'll be thanks to rebounding. They say defense wins games, wins championships. Why say rebounding does as well? The two are intricately tied together, Chris.
Here we go. Fourth quarter action in the Bronx. Zoe Shaw starting it off for St. Bonaventure, giving it to Smith, left wing, back to Shaw, top of the arc, guarded by Taya Davis on the Fordham script logo. And a denial off the ball by Taylor Donaldson. She didn't even realize she knocked it, but she did. And it'll be a scrum on the ground in favor on the possession arrow with the Fordham Rams. Jump ball worked out well for them there. Never seen a hand off ball there defending wise get picked off without even knowing, Ben.
Yeah.
That was fascinating. Anyway, with all of that said, Taya Davis has it for the Fordham offense, top of the arc. Now drifting through the right side of the lane at the right block, passing to a cutting Mora, who finishes with the layup at the rim. Arene Mora and Taya Davis working a little 1-2 man there, and it worked blissfully. Macy Smith, dribble handoff, Robinson Dodge, right wing, to Shaw, left wing. Faking, driving left, pulling up mid-range, no good for Shaw. Defensive rebound brought down by Chris Antoine. Fordham moving the other way. Taya Davis deep on the left wing. Still dribbling, now through the right side of the lane. Same spot at the right block. Out to Taylor Donaldson, right wing, inside to Mora. Mora spinning to the left side of the rim, blocked from behind. That one was Pettinelli. Bonnie offense moving the other way. Pettinelli pass to Frost, right wing. Pump fake. Inside Pettinelli at the free throw line. Smith, right corner. Faking baseline. Back out Pettinelli, right corner. Pettinelli driving. Stopping at the right elbow. Stopping. Trying to pass to a driving Shaw. Intercepted by Rose Nelson. Fordham offense going to slow it down. Taya Davis. Drifting over to the left wing, dribble handoff Rose Nelson. Rose Nelson, dribble handoff opposite wing to Taylor Donaldson. Taylor Donaldson, another dribble handoff opposite wing, left wing. Taya Davis. Taya Davis driving from there, trying to pass it down low to Arene Mora. It's intercepted, out of bounds. It'll stay on this side with the Rams.
So many dribble handoffs on that possession. You were wondering what they were going for there, as it'll stay with Fordham, but definitely, if you're Fordham, maybe you want to see more urgency and aggression, getting the shots that they want, getting to the basket, and less dilly-dallying with the dribble handoffs.
Taya Davis going from right to the left side of the lane, no good on the left-handed layup, and Bonaventure going the other way. Haskell, deep on the right wing, now top of the arc. Pass to Frost, back to Haskell, top of the arc. Dribble handoff, Robinson Dodge, left wing. And a steal. Tried to get a pass to the right wing, stolen by Kayla Berry, who's going the other way. No good on the heavily contested layup, but she'll go to the line for two. Good play there, translating defense to offense, Ben.
Absolutely, and if their identity is going to take hold at one point in this game, there's no better time than here in the fourth quarter, Chris, as she's going to head to the line to hopefully, for Fordham, put them up 3. Kayla Berry, 0 points today. We'll see if that changes as she makes her first. Going to take one more here.
Her first trip to the free throw line today. 43-41. Rams lead by 2. 7:27 to go in this fourth quarter. Off front rim and no good for Kayla Berry. And a fight on the glass for the ball. Eventually a jump ball. And it's going to be a possession arrow the other way in favor of St. Bonaventure.
Well, again, even if that was a missed shot on that free throw, you still have to admire the effort to get the offensive rebound there and turn it into a jump ball, but doesn't go their way. But Fordham's still in this one ahead by 2.
Frost, Pettinelli. 43-41 Rams lead, 7:10 to go in this fourth quarter. Shaw, top of the arc, drifting over to the right wing, guarded by Antoine, pass in the corner. Haskell, guarded by the much bigger Mora, driving inside, kicking out. Richardson, skip pass all the way to Shaw, right wing. Shaw driving inside, finishing inside. Shaw taking on all travelers, all comers, and finishing at the rim. Nelson Out of the top of the arc, passing to Kayla Berry, right wing, behind the arc. Going right around to Antoine's screen. Now Taya Davis has it, left wing, crossover right to left, driving inside. No good at the rim, getting her own offensive rebound after it pinballed off a few other players. Eventually, Davis has it out to Nelson, top of the arc. Nelson dribble handoff back to Davis, right wing. Jab step, 9 seconds on the shot clock. Driving inside, hop step. No shot, ended up getting up. Eventually, it was Pettinelli gathering it for the Bonaventure offense. Going the other way. Richardson, right corner. Out to Pettinelli, top of the arc to Haskell, left wing, back to Pettinelli. Pettinelli. Drifting over to the right wing, eventually waiting for a pickup from Frost. Can't get it, gets a double team picked up, and a jump ball call. Kayla Berry forcing the jump ball in the possession arrow the other way, a turnover for this offense, more specifically the Bonnie offense.
Well, that's great defensive effort from Fordham and a great offensive effort to keep it alive on the previous possession, but it has to lead somewhere. It's great to be determined to keep the ball in play, but you actually have to get some points on the board, which Taya Davis, to her detriment, unfortunately did not.
Shea Harris from the right wing, mid-range, no good. This game is tied 43-43, 5.5 to go in this fourth quarter. Bonaventure offense has it. Haskell on the top of the arc, guarded by Shea Harris. Drifting over to the right wing now. Still just as deep. Faking dribble handoff. Now at the free throw line to Richardson, left wing. She drives to the free throw line, takes a mid-ranger, no good off back iron. Fordham gets the defensive rebound. Taya Davis has it and is bringing it up for the offense. Taya Davis drifting over to the right wing as well. Taya Davis going left around a Morris screen. Pass inside to Antoine, wide open on the left block. She finishes at the rim and gets Fordham back out to a lead. 45-43, 5 minutes to go exactly in this fourth quarter. St. Bonaventure needs to talk it over. They take a timeout.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Just sticking to the fundamentals, passing to the cutting player inside, getting the easy two to put them up to. That's what you need to see more of if you're Fordham. Less of the force and rush aggressive shots, but the easy twos, the layups inside, that'll get them ahead.
45-43, Rams lead, 5 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Ben Oppenheimer reminding you to tune in to New York's longest-running sports call-in show, One on One. Catch One on One live on the WFUV Sports YouTube channel every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then later on 90.7 FM from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We'll catch you next Saturday on One on One.
Back in the historic Rose Hill Gym on the campus of Fordham University, celebrating its centennial season this season. And the Fordham Rams been very good here all season long, aside from a very disappointing open to the season against Adelphi. That was in their first game. They've been undefeated at home since then, 7-0, 7 games unbeaten at home since that Adelphi game. And it seems like here today, they're just having some real trouble against the St. Bonaventure team.
Yeah, you know, you never know when a team is going to surprise you, and St. Bonaventure certainly surprised Fordham today, but again, you put things in perspective. Fordham was not expected to be this strong at this point in the season. They were ranked 9th in the preseason A-10 poll, so there are a lot of things that can be overturned, expectations that can be flipped over, and really when you look at this team, it's been because of the shooting from St. Bonaventure that's put them ahead. Shaw, 22 points, 9 for 11 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3. Fordham has really struggled to stop the bleeding offensively, the damage that Shaw is doing. And really, if you want to make some defensive stops, you have to focus on shutting her down in these last few minutes.
Absolutely. Taylor Donaldson left this game a little while ago with an injury. We haven't seen her in a little bit. We're going to talk to sideline reporter Brendan Shorey in a minute or so, so we'll get kind of the full story on that in a little bit around the next timeout. still waiting on one more media timeout. That was a St. Bonaventure timeout there. 5 minutes to go exactly on this fourth quarter clock. 45-43 to go. Or that is the score in this one. Fordham with the lead. It has been going back and forth seemingly all game long. Now 8 lead changes in this game.
And without Taylor Donaldson on the floor, really Mora is going to be the main scoring option. Right now, you look at her numbers, she's got 17, 6 for 8 from the field, 5 for 5 from the line. But the key factor, look for her to generate some points on the board.
Shaw tried to get it into Haskell, eventually does. Haskell has it, top of the arc. 4:45 to go in this fourth quarter, 45-43 Rams lead. Haskell. Inside. That one's stripped out of bounds and in favor of the Rams. Hannah Richardson, the Bonnie who's hit it out of bounds, very surprised by that call. Timeout called by St. Bonaventure once again. Another timeout called in quick succession that time. St. Bonaventure coaching staff not happy at all. So we'll take the little time to give it to our sideline reporter, Brendan Shorey. He's been hanging out around their bench. Brendan, what have you seen with your such exclusive access?
Well, a big injury to watch out for. Taylor Donaldson left the game with about 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. It looked like she had a hurt left knee. I saw her getting it checked out back behind the bench. She got it wrapped up, and she's sitting back on the bench. She has not checked back into the game yet. That's something to watch. She looks fine. She said she's fine, but Coach Mitchell has not put her back in. Along with that, Coach Mitchell had one big message for the team. Take pride in getting stops. She said they need 2 more stops this game, and they will be fine. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you, Brendan. Taylor Donaldson sitting in one of the 5 seats around Coach Bridgette Mitchell. We would assume she would go back in the game. Have not seen her in this game since that injury. And we thank Brendan as well. Brendan Shorey is for visits onto our broadcast. Absolutely fantastic. Getting very exclusive information down there at the bench. Maybe better than we've ever seen Oppenheimer.
Oh, yeah.
Some would say that.
Well, you know, Brendan has a certain talent for...
Certain knack.
A certain knack, yes. You know, I was telling, obviously, Brendan from Texas, he has that cowboy ability to rein in the facts, the information. Maybe that's a bit corny, Brendan, but...
Super.
Yeah, it was, you know, I've had my better punchlines, but, you know, he's been delivering great info throughout this game and some nuggets of information that put things in perspective. And really, it's if you look at the perspective right now, if you just are tuning into this game, you may be surprised that Fordham only up 2 against a struggling Bonaventure team. But then when you hear some of the things that are being said in the huddle, as well as looking at the stats, it becomes more apparent that Bonaventure taking advantage of a lot of situations offensively, making those shots, and Fordham on the other end, they're huddling up, trying to maintain that defensive composure.
Taylor Donaldson back out there with the 5. The 5 for Fordham: Carissa Antoine, Irene Mora, Rose Nelson, Taya Davis, and Taylor Donaldson. The team high for this Fordham Ram team, Irene Mora with 17. Game high is, of course, Zoe Shaw, the freshman, the impressive freshman, I might add, the Melbourne native, currently at 22 points with still over 4 minutes to go in this game. A bit of an offensive explosion from Shaw, someone who hasn't scored in abundance this season, only 10 points per game, but a truly fantastic offensive performance for her team this afternoon. And they've needed all 22, Ben.
Yeah, and you know, she only averages around 10 points per game. So this is why I say that you have to prepare for anyone to beat you. It's not like these players aren't talented. Everyone, if you're in D1 college basketball, you certainly have an ability to score out there on the floor, and that's what Shaw is doing, punishing this Fordham defense. Fordham looking to stay ahead.
Rose Nelson from the right wing trying to get it inside to Antoine. Right block, she does. Eventually, Antoine is pushed out of bounds by Mackenzie Patinelli, and it'll stay on this side with the Rams on the floor. That's St. Bonaventure's second foul of the fourth quarter. Still no fouls for the Rams. We'll be taken out under the basket. Taya Davis has it on the right baseline under the basket. Inbound to Antoine, top of the key. Dribble handoff, same spot. Davis drives to the right side of the lane, no good at the rim. Defensive rebound brought down by Caitlin Frost. Bonnie's moving the other way. It is brought up by Danny Haskell. And a foul there, reach-in foul on the floor, the first foul of the fourth quarter for the Rams. It'll go on Taya Davis.
Well, they've certainly been more disciplined in that aspect, picking up less fouls this quarter, only one so far. And if you're Fordham, you hope it stays that way to maintain that composure on the defensive end.
Shaw crossover behind the back, right to left, in the lane, back out. Frost driving through the lane, getting the shot to go, plus the foul. From the right lane, Frost drove right through the middle of the lane, finished at the rim, absorbed the contact, picked up the foul, and has a chance to complete the three-point play at the line and give the St. Bonaventure team a lead. Tied at 45, just under 4 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. What a play, Ben.
Frost unafraid to take charge in the paint and gets rewarded, but misses the free throw there.
Doesn't complete the three-point play. Fordham offense now working. Tie game at 45, 3:50 to go in this fourth quarter. Davis guarded up top by Haskell. Davis to Taylor Donaldson, right wing. Inside to Antoine. Right block. Wraparound pass to Mora, opposite block. Back out to Rose Nelson from the left wing. Driving inside, kick out to Taya Davis. Her right wing three, no good. Defensive rebound brought down by Frost.
Not sure if that was the best shot to take.
No. Shaw, top of the arc. Haskell. Dribble handoff, right wing to Shaw. Shaw giving it back to Haskell. Right corner three, no good. Rimming completely out. Second chance opportunity on the offensive glass. Haskell's driving, kick out Shaw. Shaw step back three, left wing, no good. Ambitious play to say the least. Fordham offense now has it. Still tied, under 3 minutes to go.
Well, you talk about ambitious, Chris, as Fordham calls timeout. You don't want to be overly ambitious. You saw that shot from Taya Davis on the right corner there. You could say that was a bit rushed, and now it's resulting in an opportunity when you give up those points or don't score them. Gives an opportunity for the Bonnies to pull ahead. You definitely want to make the most of every possession. You almost can't afford not to at this point. Under 3 minutes to go, every possession, every second matters.
Absolutely. This Fordham Ram team still tied. Coach Bridgette Mitchell calling a quick 30-second timeout, so we'll stay here. Going to talk it over just quickly. They advanced the ball as well. Taya Davis drove it right around to where her coach is, deep on the left wing, and they called the timeout. So Fordham will have it in the front court. Just under 3 minutes, as I said, tied at 45. Rose Nelson inbounding right in front of her head coach, receiving instruction in her right ear from her head coach.
Very convenient location for an inbound.
Very. Well, unless you mess it up in some way. And that's an offensive foul. A charging call. Still trying to see who it was on exactly. Not really getting any help on that from the officials, but a foul on St. Bonaventure nonetheless. It'll go the other way on number 3. Got that from the video here. Taylor Donaldson over the loudspeaker. Taylor Donaldson picking up her second foul of the afternoon. St. Bonaventure offense working. Frost in the opposite corner, Richardson, right wing. Driving to the middle of the lane, now in the middle of the paint, spinning right, putting up a shot, getting it to go. A few bounces on the back of the iron and eventually goes, and this St. Bonaventure team back out to a lead. 47-45, 2 minutes to go in this fourth quarter.
Not much time left. Fordham got to answer back and do it quickly.
Wilson Saltos to Rose Nelson, left wing. Nelson to Taya Davis on the right wing. Taya Davis dribble handoff, Taylor Donaldson, same spot. Working left around a Rose Nelson screen, taking the mid-ranger at the free throw line and hitting. Taylor Donaldson working quickly offensively, as Ben said, and now St. Bonaventure has it offensively, trying to answer. Haskell to Pettinelli, deep right wing. Pettinelli, top of the arc to Haskell. Haskell now in the left corner, driving baseline. Skip pass, Shaw's three, right wing, no good. Rebound more on the defensive glass. Taylor Donaldson has it for the Fordham offense. 1:30 to go in this fourth quarter, still tied at 47. Taya Davis has it, drifting over to the right wing. Taya Davis at the free throw line. Tried to get it in the left block downstairs to Mora. A kickball on Haskell. It'll stay on this side in the front court with the Rams.
And really no room for error at all here. 1:26 to go here in this one, and that really hurt them. That offensive foul call on that inbound a few possessions ago kind of set them back a little bit, but got to make up some ground here.
And Donaldson has it at the free throw line. Step through floater is good. Taylor Donaldson always there when they need her most. And she has Fordham in the lead once again, 49-47, 1:10 to go in this fourth quarter. Shaw has some trouble on it on the tight defense from Davis. Eventually, the Bonnies offense have it. Frost driving inside and a reach-in call on Taylor Donaldson. The crowd around us does not like it.
Yeah, certainly they're questioning the call on that one as the Bonnies are going to inbound at the baseline.
Pass. Haskell right wing, spinning left, going in the lane, and rejected by Rose Nelson. A monster rejection hit off of the St. Bonnie's player out of bounds and in the possession of the Rams. What a play by Rose Nelson. Not even sure if that was purposeful.
Yeah, I mean, just the chaos and taking advantage of it, showing her defensive abilities on that one. A key play that could end up allowing Fordham to pull away in this one with 48 seconds to go.
Rose Nelson leaving the St. Bonaventure player on the ground on the baseline after the monster block attempt, hitting an offer to get the possession back. Irene Mora down low, went for a shot attempt just now, fouled before the shot could go in. The shot didn't go in, and still go to the line for two. 2 free throws for Irene Mora. Mora already sitting at 17 points tonight, 8 rebounds and 2 assists. 3 fouls as well, has to stay semi-conservative on the defensive end of the ball. Mora, her first attempt from the free throw line. No good off the right side of the rim. She's 5 for 6, her first miss from the free throw line tonight on 6 attempts. 83% on the year from the line. Now her second from the charity stripe is good. 50-47, Rams lead by 3, 44.4 on the fourth quarter clock. Major free throws from Irene Mora, Ben.
Well, ideally, if you're Fordham, you hope that she would make both because that would make it beyond a one-possession game, but it is still a one-possession game now. Bonnies can tie it up with a 3, but if you're Fordham, you have to suffocate on the perimeter, really have that defense be swarming out there, provide the pressure all the way up to half court. Cannot afford to let up a 3 at this point. 44 seconds to go. So really it's just about getting a stop. They're in position to win here, but you have to be smart on the defensive end and don't turn it over when you have possession on the offensive end.
50-47, Rams lead, 44.4 on the game clock, 30 on the shot clock. St. Bonaventure will take it out in the front court. Pettinelli directly across from the St. Bonaventure bench, right next to us. Pettinelli trying to get the inbound in, having trouble forcing a timeout. Good inbounding defense there from the Rams and forcing the timeout.
Well, that's what I was talking about, Chris. That swarming defense, not even allowing them to inbound the ball, and that's what you're looking for if you're Coach Mitchell right now, providing that suffocating sense of you can't even dribble on the floor. So we'll see how the Bonnies approach the inbound coming out of this timeout, if they've drawn up a different type of play. But right now, again, same story, just with a few seconds left on the clock, or 44 seconds left on the clock. Fordham just got to get a stop or even get a turnover and then score on the other end. That could seal this one. But really, you have to just be smart. Don't take any chances. Make the easy, simple decisions, that the fundamentals that are going to lead to a win.
Absolutely. Fundamentals have been very important for this Fordham team all year long, the basis of what any good basketball team wants to do when talking about being successful. 50-47, Rams lead, 44.4 on the game clock, 30 on the shot clock. St. Bonaventure had some trouble with the inbound last time around, had to call timeout. Now after the 30-second timeout, they'll try once again. The Mackenzie Pedinelli on the inbound. Inbounds it. Haskell left corner. Back to Pedinelli. Dribble handoff. Shaw, top of the arc. Drifting over to the left wing. Shaw, back up top. Frost faking the dribble handoff. Driving to the right side of the lane. No good at the rim, but a foul called. Carissa Antoine with a bit of a hack from behind on the drive. And it'll be free throw trips for Frost. Caitlin Frost at the line.
Not what you want to do there, not ideal. Giving the Bonnies a chance to make this a 1-point game. Really too close for comfort here. She makes her first.
Good on the first. Her 12th point of the afternoon. 12 points, 10 rebounds, double-double for Frost. Impressive performance from the freshman. The second from Frost. Good as well. Very pretty free throw form. 30 seconds exactly on the game clock. 50-49 Rams lead. Shot clock is completely turned off. And this Ram team just needs to hold on to this one here at the end, Ben.
Yeah, and obviously the key is do not turn the ball over no matter what. Do not give the Bonnies a chance to just get a steal and lay it in, and they have a 1-point lead. You know, you have to handle the basketball in this situation like it's your own child. You do not let go of it. And especially on the other end, there's a chance that St. Bonaventure, maybe they would foul in this situation, which in that case, you got to make your shots at the free throw line.
You have to foul.
Yeah, of course, they would foul. Good on you for correcting me on that one, Chris, but if they do foul, which they most likely will, you just hope if you're Fordham, the fundamentals, as we said, lead to 2 made free throws.
30 seconds exactly on the game clock. Shot clock is turned off. 50-49 Rams lead. They're inbounding in the front court. Rose Nelson inbounding. Got it to Taylor Donaldson, who gets open and eventually fouled. Not the person you want to foul necessarily, but didn't really seem like the Bonnies had an option there.
And she's definitely solid from the free throw line. A high pressure opportunity here, but it's actually going to be Nelson taking it out.
One more, four fouls for the Bonnies. One more will put them in the bonus. Rose Nelson will inbound once again. It'll be Taylor Donaldson on the inbound. Same exact play on the inbound, and she got it back again. Taylor Donaldson will go to the line for 2. No timeouts for St. Bonaventure. So unless Coach Brissette Mitchell calls a foul after the free throw, we probably won't see one. 1-point lead for the Rams, 50-49. Donaldson with the line, with a chance at the line with 2 free throws. No good on the first, rimming left out, and the door still open, still very much open for the Bonnies. Donaldson on the second. It's good. 2-point lead for Fordham, 51-49, 27 seconds left. St. Bonaventure inbounding. They got no timeouts. Zoe Shaw inbounding out of the backcourt, getting it into the front court. 20 seconds left. Shaw directing the off-ball movement at the top of the arc. Crossing right to left through the middle of the lane. Floater off back iron. It goes out of bounds. It'll stay with St. Bonaventure. And a review called by the officials. They'll check it out on the scores table. A beautiful look by Shaw to get open. She just couldn't quite get the shot to go.
That was absolutely dangerous. A defensive lapse from Fordham there, letting Shaw split through the defense and get to the basket, but no cigar, not making it. Fordham got lucky on that one. They really got lucky. That was a chance from Shaw to tie this one and potentially head into overtime, but they still have another chance here. So you really have to be careful.
We'll see after the review.
After review. But really when you look at the defense from half court, it was very high pressure defense, which is what they would be supposed to be doing in this situation. But that lapse right when you get in the half court, it's the half court defense that really killed them in that situation. Shaw just splitting through the lane and getting into the basket. That can't happen if you're Fordham. That's costly.
Up 3, my mistake. The Fordham Rams letting Zoe Shaw drive for a while, but then, more importantly, letting Caitlin Frost get to the rim and get fouled. She didn't even make the shot. You gave her free throws. That, in a lot of senses, brought this St. Bonaventure team back in the game. It cut it to 1, and then Fordham gets fouled, down 1. Taylor Donaldson misses a free throw, now puts us at where we are now. Fordham up to 51-49, 9.8 on the game clock. This St. Bonaventure team just hanging in there, Ben. Just hanging in, not going anywhere.
And that may be just enough for them to potentially win this one, Chris. I mean, really, when you look at, once again, the points off turnovers, where St. Bonaventure has capitalized and Fordham has usually, that's been their strong suit. That's been their bread and butter, but not exactly the case today. And the rebounding, once again, Fordham has a huge lead, huge discrepancy in that one. That's what's made this one close. But Bonaventure looking to get points on the board here.
St. Bonaventure ends up coming out with the ball after the review, the possession. They take it out on the right baseline. It's Frost passing it up top to Shaw, top of the arc to Frost, right corner, her 3. No good off left side of the rim. 1 second left, and it goes out of bounds with just less than a second to spare. Timeout called by Coach Bridgette Mitchell with less than a second left. The Rams 51-49 and seemingly just barely surviving this one, Ben.
That's such a lucky break on that one. 2 dangerous situations. One where you have Shaw cutting into the basket, almost getting the foul. And then recently on that one you had Frost shooting from the right wing, and it almost looked like that was good. You know, the shot form looked good, but luckily for Fordham, missing off the bounce, now only 0.3 on the clock. Looks like Fordham is going to seal this one. But the narrative of this game, which I'm sure we'll talk about after the final buzzer, Chris, is if you're Fordham, the perspective is it shouldn't have been this close. They could have done a lot of things to stop the bleeding that St. Bonaventure was doing offensively to them, and also the unforced errors that we talked about throughout this one, not just with turnovers, but also with defensive lapses, letting the defense be wide open. So a lot of things to talk about if you're Fordham in the aftermath of this one.
Half a second put back on the clock, 0.8 left on the game clock. 2-point lead for the Rams as they try to inbound it. Have some trouble on the inbound, and that's it. Game is called off. A bit of a scrum on the loose ball ended up lasting 0.8, and the referee's going to talk about it for a few seconds. Seems like they might actually throw some more time on here. Referees just seemingly don't want this one to end. It was fought over by 2 players from both respective teams. Only 0.8 was actually on the clock when the ball was inbounded. It's hard to believe that the final buzzer didn't sound.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. If it did end that way, it would be a pretty anticlimactic end to this one. Really, from our perspective, kind of just a weird game in general.
Yeah.
Not what anyone was expecting, a team that has struggled throughout conference play coming in and just really shooting the lights out in the first half, making Fordham almost appear out of sorts out there on the floor. And by just a hair, Fordham looks like they're going to get out of this one. But
0.1 left on the clock. The only human possible way of getting up a shot is in 0.3 seconds. So this is literally pointless, but nonetheless, we're going to play it through. It's more out of principle than anything else, Ben. Got to play all 40 minutes, of course.
Absolutely.
Into Irene Mora, and that's it. Fordham Rams, it may have not looked pretty, but they get the victory. Rams continue the home win streak, now 8-0 in their last 8 games here in the friendly confines of the Rose Hill Arena. And Ben, what a performance from the Rams down the stretch in a game where it could have really gone poorly.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point in the first half there where they were down by more than 5 points. Fordham looked lost out there, turning the ball over, not making the shots they want or getting the looks that they want, and they really improved in the second half. That's the positive takeaway of this one. A win is a win. It's going to be another W to the win column, so they're going to be 6-2 on the year, and you have to be appreciative of that, of course. But really, the takeaways from this one are sloppiness can still lead you in dangerous territory. This easily could have been a loss for Fordham. There were many instances, even though they definitely sealed the deal as much as they could in the fourth quarter. There were numerous instances where Fordham had lapses defensively, and they made mistakes in handling the ball, turning it over, or not taking the best shot that they could in certain situations. So really the takeaways are a lot of room for improvement in terms of going up against teams that you would think are mostly going to be struggling against you. But once again, you have to play every team the same way, not necessarily with the same strategy, but with that same intensity, which I didn't see throughout all of this game, but it came alive in the second half, in the fourth quarter when it mattered. And like I said, a win is a win, but some things to learn from this one, Chris.
The environment is fantastic around this program right now. Even some A-listers. I just saw President Tanya Tetlow and Athletic Director Guthrie out on the court. It's bringing out this Fordham women's team, bringing out all the big faces out here on campus. The Fordham Rams moved to 12-7 on the year with a 51-49 victory over St. Bonaventure here at home. They'll be back in action at home here at the Rose Hill Gym on Wednesday. That one's at 6:30 against Rhode Island. For me, Chris Carrino, my partner, Ben Oppenheimer, I would like to thank Brendan Shorey. He was on sideline reporting all afternoon long. I'd also like to thank Evan Harkin, the one and only Evan Harkin, doing all of our producing here this afternoon. But before we end our broadcast, we're going to send it back to the Rose Hill Studios one more time for a post-game report with George Sfugatakis and Sophia Smith. Take it away, guys. Thank you, everybody, for
The one-on-one post-game report.
Welcome back to the Rose Hill Studios. George Sfugatakis here with Sophia Smith. And your Fordham Rams defeated the St. Bonaventure Bonnies by 2 with a score of 51-49. A big come-from-behind W for the Rams today, wasn't it?
Yeah, they got lucky in the end there, though. That could have been bad. Losing this game would have been a really tough loss.
It was, and it was almost like they heard what we were talking about. They limited the turnovers. They played team basketball, maximized the assists, had more points off of those turnovers, forced more turnovers, and played more transition basketball. And most of all, they shot the ball better. Second quarter, they shot 25% from the field, and average between the two quarters of the second half is about 39%. I feel like the Rams really maximized their offensive and defensive output in the second half.
I agree. I think that in the end, as I said, it got a little bit tight there, and I think that especially they got really lucky right at the end, and I think that the defense could have taken control a little bit more. But yeah, overall, a solid win. I mean, at least they came out with it. So
yeah, most definitely. This team reminded me of the New York Knicks today, struggling against a not as highly ranked opponent as they would enjoy, similar to how the Nets gave the Knicks a run for their money a couple days ago. But in the end, the Rams did come out with the win. They took more high percentage looks and ended up fighting from behind and coming and securing the W. We were down by 2 at the half, came back, won by 2. I think Coach Mitchell can be satisfied with this win, but I feel like she would like a more powerful and definitive win over a team with less wins.
I'm looking for more from everyone. There was only 6 scorers from the Rams. That needs to improve. I think that looking forward, they should they should all get in there more.
I agree completely, but we were led by Taylor Donaldson and Irene Mora, which isn't that surprising, as they've been the two of the more high energy, high scoring players. But one thing I want to focus on is the shooting from the field. 7 for 17 in the third quarter, 4 for 11 in the fourth. It's better than what it was in the first half, but I feel like you still want your team to be shooting a little over 45% for the game, and the 3-point shooting hasn't been there. But I feel like if the Rams can work on their their percentage shooting, and make better decisions, they'll have a better result in future games.
Yeah, and going back to Donaldson, she left the game for a little bit, so it's really good to see that she still led the team with 19 points.
For sure. I think that's going to do it for the Rose Hill Studios. I'm George Sfugatakis, joined by Sophia Smith, Evan Harkin behind the boards, Lou Orlando here in the studio with us on engineering and highlights. Chris Carrino and Ben Oppenheimer gave play-by-play in color. Bobby Chaffardini is our sports director, and this Fordham women's basketball game on 90.7 FM has been a production of WFUV Sports.